Welcome to one of the many circle sessions hosted by Wonder Girls. Wonder Girls is a nationwide classrooms movement. We bring relatable female role models into classroom settings through our circle sessions. As you will see, the crux of these sessions is its dialogic nature. We're currently working with classrooms across 7 Indian cities and continuing to grow. Our aim is for every adolescent in India to have access to relatable female role models. I welcome you once again and hope you enjoy learning from our role models' life journey and career path.
So much everyone for this opportunity, and firstly thank you so much Prajakta ma'am. Our students, definitely there's so many students who wants to become a doctor and don't know what to do in their life, and definitely this discussion, I'm really hoping that it will help many students to aim high and have more clarity in their career. Before we start the session, quickly, Dr. Prajakta madam is a pediatric consultant. So basically, she is based out of Mumbai. So she's associated with Holy Family Hospital, Guru Nanak Hospital, and Fortis Raja Hospital. Besides having her own private practice clinic also. So basically, pediatric is a doctor who generally treats newborn babies and small, very newborn babies. So basically, she is associated with nursing homes, and then she attends delivery calls and routinely manages sick newborn babies, extremely low birth weight babies. So it's really a very risky job. At the same time, she has to be very careful in her work. In spite of such an inspiring work, she has come here to spend time with us, and also be part of this discussion. We are very happy, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. So before we start our discussion, we wanted to just hear you, what is your inspiration to become a doctor, and what how did you become a doctor? Maybe I think that's one question we wanted to hear from you.
Okay. To begin with, actually, I come from a family of doctors. So in my house, everybody is a doctor. So I guess that was one thing that was there from childhood, that, we've been seeing and learning that, that when you grow up, I already knew when I was a child that I want to become a doctor. I was watching my father, learning how things were happening in the house. And I feel that the decision to become a doctor, is not something that you can take at the last minute. It is a process. You have to train your mind, because once you get into the profession, there is a lot of dedication and hard work which is essential. There's a lot of sacrifice. So I feel that it's something, if you really want to do it from the bottom of your heart, you have to see how the work goes there. And if you decide, then you should go ahead and work hard towards it. It's not an easy decision. It is not something like, okay, I got the marks, now I don't know what to do, so let me just get into medicine. It's not like that. Then medicine can fail you because you have different ideas about it. So I guess, that was it. I mean, in my case, I was always wanting to become a doctor. I was always working towards that. That was the goal directly from, I think 9th or 10th standard is where it was like, I'm working only towards that. So I guess then, and it becomes easy later, because once you enter medicine, it's a different ball game. There's a lot of work. And at that time you can't say that, no, I'm a little sleepy, maybe, no, I don't think I can do it, because then that will sort of hinder the whole progress.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
We have Aishwarya, a student who
Yeah.
wants to ask a question. Aishwarya,
Yes.
can you come off mute and ask a question, Aishwarya?
Yes, Paya. I want to ask one question, that
Yes.
how many years we should study to become a doctor?
I think, if you want to become a doctor, you should start preparing your mind from 8th, 9th standard onwards. Start scoring marks, because your 10th standard marks will get you into science or commerce. So you have to take science. and a good college. After that, I'm sure that, to get into medicine, now it is like during our time, it was 12 standard marks. Now there are NEET exams, and NEET exams are really tough. So I think you should start studying from much earlier. It is it's a planned study. You have to score in those exams and then get into medicine. Once you get into medicine, MBBS is 4.5 years. After that, there is again postgraduate entrance exams. Once you crack those entrance exams as postgraduate courses, which are minimum 3 years. So totally, I would say it is like at least 8 to 10 years of rigorous hard work and study. Can you hear me?
Yes. So Aishwarya gave me a thumbs up. Yeah. Thank you so much, Aishwarya, for that question. So from the list of questions which were like repeating, I wanted to ask you the next question. Basically, so what are some fields other than doctor that are there, like in medicine field? What are some opportunities
There
that
are
student can
paramedical fields also. There's physiotherapy, there's occupational therapy, there's pharmacy. All these things are apart from getting into mainline medicine. These are all paramedical courses. And they're, of course, they also require a lot of hard work and dedication, equally so, But then again, that depends on the interest of the person. If you really want to become an occupational therapist, a physiotherapist, a speech therapist, and they are dentistry, that is also one of them. And I think, but it all depends on the interest, so if you really want to do that, like you can't just become a dentist unless you want to become one. So I guess that it all, boils down to what you really, really want to do. Like you can't just choose a field unless you have that kind of interest and motivation to go towards it and work towards it. This is a lifelong process. It's a lifestyle that you adapt to.
Okay, so basically, what is the suggestion that you would like to give to our students, if at all, if they wanted to?
I would like to say that, the first thing means those who are really interested in medicine should, of course not now, but should visit hospitals, see the kind of work that goes on there, because what happens is many of the times, they're totally unaware, okay, what is medicine? When they go in there, they say, oh, we can't work here, it's so smelly, it's so this, we can't take all this, but we can't see blood, there are so many things there. But once you enter medicine, there is no turning back. So I guess they should go and, either work with some doctors or work in the hospitals, or not work, go and see, observe how things go around over there, if they like to work in that kind of a way. Because, it's a lot of hard work. I mean, I'm not joking. It's a lot of hard work, giving up of everything in your life, just for that profession. And that requires dedication. I mean, yeah.
Okay, so we have Hina here. So Hina, would you like to ask your question?
Yes. Yeah, I want to ask, does Didi want to become the doctor? She achieved it. She faced some challenges in her life due to caste, religion, society, area, etc. Her parents allow her or not? That question. That's the most important thing. Parents should allow, society should allow.
Okay. See, the thing is, for a woman, becoming a doctor is such a lovely and very, very, inspiring profession. The moment she is a doctor, she is independent for life. She can work and earn on her own. The work gives so much satisfaction, and there is no retirement for a doctor. She can work lifelong, so it's suddenly, so I think, why should parents not give permission for this? I mean, definitely, I mean, I feel sad if parents don't think that way, but it's like a profession which is going to put that woman in, a little above on the pedestal, because she's capable of giving service to society. And, I think that's a great thing to do. I mean, why should caste, creed, religion, low income group or anything come in the way? I mean, you have to just score the marks on your merit and you have to get into the profession. And yeah, I understand that, there are some society norms, but then those parents should be explained that, these things are, important for her as a woman to, you know, sort of become independent, become herself, have her own identity in life.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you, Hina, for that question as well. So, Prajakta, a follow-up question.
Yeah.
So, when you are like in the process of this journey to become a doctor, so what were some challenges that you faced, and like how did you try to overcome those challenges? Could be sometimes you might have some self-doubt whether will I become a doctor or not. Is there any situation like that? Like, how did you try to overcome that?
Okay, so I will tell you that so MBBS was much simpler because a part of MBBS is only classroom study.
You became the doctor.
Yes, I'm. Can I answer this question?
Yeah, I'll check with those. Please, you continue, Prajakta.
I should? Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So MBBS is more of a classroom course. There are visits to the wards and all, and that's okay. But I think the main challenges that I have faced, or rather many of us have faced, is when you enter the postgraduate courses. Because that is a time you can't go home. You have to stay there in the hospital 24/7. And the work hours are crazy. You can be on call for like 36 hours at a stretch, and there will be hardly any time to sleep. There will be hardly any time to eat food also, because there are emergencies, there are the loads and loads and loads of patients. So that is a very testing time. So I think the residency part of it itself is a very challenging process in a doctor's life. Residency is when you become a postgraduate doctor, when you have to stay in-house and you have to do all the work. You don't see your family for days on an end. Maybe once in a month you can go home for like a day or something, So, and even if you are off call, you're so tired, you want to sleep during that time because you have to catch up on that much sleep. The next day is a working day again. So I think that is the making process, because at that point of time, you feel that, okay, it's only this residency program for about 3 years or 4 years that I'm going to do this. But at the end of the residency program, you realize that this is it, this is life. Because even when if the residency is over and your medical life or as a practice has started, you're going to be on call for 24/7. In the night also, you're going to get calls, you're going to go, you're going to attend. So this residency makes you ready to give that commitment lifelong. Like, you may have to go to a wedding and you get an emergency and you are like, okay, now I am not going to that wedding. You have to cancel it because that emergency is important. And I guess that training process is, I think it's path-breaking. It's a huge process for all of us as doctors. And I think that is what it turns your mind, it turns your focus, everything towards medicine.
Yeah.
Yes,
so,
definitely. Yeah, that is.
Yeah. So I know definitely, right? Even like doctors definitely have to stretch their work and they have to find a way to balance their life. I think that should be a life learning for them, even I feel. So we have a Sangeeta, a student who wants to ask a question. Sangeeta, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you please ask a question? Yeah.
Where should we practice about medicine?
Where should we? I'm sorry, I didn't get that question. Where should we?
So where should we practice about the medicine and all about giving injection to patients and all of that?
So all of that will come after you enter the course. So initially you have to plan your mind that, yes, I want to be a doctor. You start working towards it. You pass all the exams, get your rank, get into, MBBS. And I think, all this will come when you are finished your MBBS and you're entering internship. That is a time when you will learn how to give injections. You will learn, hands-on on patient care. So that will come after you have studied your main MBBS years, your basics of medicine. So it is not like you enter medicine and you're giving an injection. That comes much later. I think it is initially the books to read, the exams to pass, and the know-how of the human body, which is the basic. You have to, be there, and then the next part comes, the clinicals. So that's where everything is a process. So the initial 3.5 years to 4 years, you're going to be doing this thing. You're going to be learning, just learning about the human body, about the medicines, about the biology, the chemistry, the everything of human body. So you have to first learn all that. It's and then comes the clinical part.
Yeah. So with that answer, I think I wanted to have a question, which is from Saida Nusrat. So basically, her question is like, what are some courses that I have to do after my 10th class? Okay.
After
10th, what are some courses I have to choose after my 10th class if I wanted to become a doctor?
Doctor. Okay. So after 10th, first you have to choose any one field. It's science, commerce, arts, right? So you have to choose science, right? That's number one. Okay. Then you have all your physics, chemistry, biology, and all that up to 12th standard. After 12th standard, now during our time it was different, but now there are these entrance exams to enter medicine. The central entrance exams, they're called as the NEET exams. So the NEET exams is where you score, and depending on your score, you will get admission into the medical colleges anywhere around. It's all India NEET.
Okay, I think at least that gave a little idea of what they have to do.
Yeah.
We have a student from Rupa. Like, Rupa, can you ask your question?
Yes, Bhaiya. Hi, I'm Rupa. So my question is, ma'am, did you ever felt that giving up your in your journey? Have you ever felt that to giving up your journey because of any critical situation? Like, just you thought, like, why did I came into this field and why not other field? Have you ever felt like this?
No. Frankly, no, I never felt. Though there were situations where, I would get tired and feel like I can't do more. But I'll tell you what happens is that, especially when you are in the postgraduate courses and you're working the whole day and night in hospitals, initial stages, you start feeling that, there's so much hard work, there's so much to do, there's just no time to sit, there's just no time to rest. But later on, what happens is, like, I was doing pediatrics. So when the kids who were there in the wards, they got better and they're all smiling and they're going home, the satisfaction is immense. And when you see that, you start feeling that, it just motivates you to do more. So, you're just waiting for that time, that, okay, now this child was very bad. Now he's gotten better. Now he's smiling. Now he's eating food. Now he's with his mother and now he's going home, he's discharging from the hospital. So that gives that pulls you up, that makes you want, I will do more. So I guess it's for this satisfaction that you live, and for lifelong, this is the source of satisfaction and happiness for any doctor, and this is what motivates to do more.
Yeah, definitely. That is what even like inspires us also when we see a doctor. Thank you so much for that answer.
Yes.
We have a P. Joshna. P. Joshna, can you ask your question, please?
Hello, Bhaiya. This is Roshna from Malakpet. I have a question. So, how much money is necessary to study medicine? Approximately.
See, in India, medicine is divided into two types of colleges. One are your government medical colleges, and then there are the private medical colleges. Okay, but I feel all the government medical colleges, the fees are not very, very high. They're very nominal, rather. If you see KEM, Nair, Sion, or that is in Bombay, I'm talking about, just like that, anywhere, AIMS or any places. So it is just about getting a rank there and getting in there. If you get into those colleges, I don't think there is a lot of money required. Private medical colleges do have seats where there can be some donations and money and all that, but that is, I don't think you should ever aim for that. You should aim to get into these institutes where everything is just work centrally. Whatever rank you get into there, because they are better institutes also. So I don't think, and if at all if anybody really has a problem, then there are education loans. But I think getting a proper rank into a proper, government or medical college is an easier way to get in there straight. And the money and the fees are not that much.
So with that, there is a small follow-up question. Like, do we have any possibilities of getting scholarships and in the journey? Because like I could see like many of our communities, the students are like are having little financial barriers. So like, what would you suggest to our students?
There are in India as yet, there are no such. Nothing that we know of the scholarships and all based here. But yeah, if there is a huge problem with the money, then education loans are available. But like I said, the cost of doing medicine from the regular premier government institutes is not something that will take away all the stress, will take away all the, this. Sorry?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think there's a small glitch. Yeah, you please continue. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know of students who come from very low income backgrounds, but because of their merits, they have got into. Anybody want to ask a question?
No. I'll check with that, please. You continue. I'm sorry. Like I would like to invite Harshita. Would you like to ask the next question?
Hi, ma'am. I am Harshita. I want to ask, in which class you set your goal that you want to become a doctor?
Well, I guess around the 7th, 8th standard, I had decided already that I want to become a doctor, and that's it. So, but like I said, because it was much easier for me to take the decision, because my father was also a pediatrician, and I could see the whole process of how he was working, and he was always out in the hospitals working, coming late, going early. So I had seen all of that from a very young age, and it's either you go towards it or you go away from it. So, but I think I wanted to work like him. I wanted to do that kind of work. When I used to feel very proud and very happy. So it was very easy decision for me. But yeah, there are students who may not have that exposure. So I feel that if they want to know about how, how the work goes in medicine, they should find a way to go to nearby hospitals. Of course, not now in the pandemic, but when things are fine. and try to look if they can become observers, they can look around and see, they can work with doctors, in a small way, help them or whatever. So they know the process of work that goes on. It's not like, something else in their head, and when they go in there and they realize, oh, it's so much work, we didn't know. That should not happen.
Thank you so much for that. So we have Anushka. Anushka, would you like to ask your question?
Yeah, so my question is, Didi, like there will be so many different categories like cardiologist and maybe something else. So we need to study for them differently. So how much time will it take? Maybe there will be something offers a scholarship or not.
So see, what happens is initially everybody has to go through MBBS. That is the first step. Once you finish MBBS, by then you have some fair idea about your own liking, because you have by then read all the books, you have attended some clinics. So you have a fair idea that what you like whether you like to do, medicine, you want to do surgery, you want to do gynecology, you want to do pediatrics. So you have a fair idea. Then after that, even when you're preparing for your exams, NEET exams and all, you work a little more, you study a little more about those particular subjects also that you want to, sort of take later. Like if you want to do surgical subjects, you prepare surgical subjects much better. Later on, if you get into surgery, then you have to go through the post-graduation of surgery. It is after the post-graduation surgery that you can decide whether you want to become a pediatric surgeon, you want to become a, neurosurgeon, you want to become a neurosurgeon, you want to become, all that is much, much later. So initially MBBS, after MBBS, then you can take a decision what you want to become, where do you want to go. That all depends on your liking towards that particular subject. Because once you take up the subject, you're going to be doing only that.
Yes. So basically, so madam, you want to tell that depends on what you chose. Based on that, like we will have different subjects, and in that way,
But
we
first
have
is MBBS is basic. You have to finish. By the end of MBBS, you yourself will get a fair idea about what you like, where you are concentrating more on, that is the time, because, you can't decide now that I want to do this or that. Your things may change after you start studying.
Yes. So we have a question from a student. She's, I think she's Ayat. So basically, she wants to ask, he or she wants to ask, ma'am, any failures in your journey of becoming a doctor? Because of background noise, she cannot ask this question. Like, how did you, like, what were some failures you faced and how did you overcome them? I think,
Failures. Okay, so there were no failures, but there were many obstacles. Like I said, that, and that was all mainly, I think, during the post-graduation part of it. MBBS part of it was much easier, and, it got over very fast. I think also getting into post-graduation was difficult because there were entrance exams. So yeah, there were times when, getting a rank, giving different exams. During our time, there were many entrance exams. So studying for, if you don't get a rank, those were the failures there. But then, I guess still we went on with it, If you didn't get this time, next time. If you didn't get next time, the next time. But the point was never to give up.
Definitely. Thanks for that inspiration. Saying this, like I have another student called Neha. So Neha, I think, would you like to ask your question, Neha? Fatima, I think, yes.
Yeah. Hi ma'am, I want to ask one question to you, which I'm feared by seeing blood. How can I end that fear?
Well, that fear will end when you keep seeing blood all the time. Initially, yes, but once you enter the hospital and you start seeing you know, the process. First day you will get scared. The second day you'll get scared. Third day you'll forget about it. You'll get habituated to it.
Sure, madam. Thank you so much. We have another student, Mansi. Mansi, would you like to ask a question?
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah, Mansi, I think there's. Okay. Mansi, looks like there is a network issue, but I'll ask you your question on your behalf. Basically, Mansi wants to know what is your memorable moment as a doctor.
Okay. Okay, so the memorable moment, I mean, what I could say, or you can say that something that, yeah, it's very touching, is that, so when I was doing my first year of pediatric residency, so we had a very, very bad baby because we were doing labor calls. We had to go and attend the deliveries. The newborn babies are born. So we had a very bad baby, and I was, I think, in the first year of my residency that time. So, and this baby was on the ventilator, you know, and the first night was the worst night because, you know, that baby was all the time desaturating, the breast oxygen levels were falling. Being the junior most at that time, the junior person, I was told to sit next to that child, you know, keep on giving the ambu, bring up the oxygen levels and try. All the time, you know, I thought, I don't know whether this one will make it. But the whole night we stretched, we went on. The next day was a little better. The third day was even better. The fourth, fifth day, the baby got extubated off the venti, this, that, went home, you know. So all that happened. And I guess a year, I think after about a year, you know, they used to follow up, the mother parents used to follow up. After about a year, I remember I was that time a little more senior, and they came to the OPD with that child. The child was now 1 year old and jumping and dancing around. And, you know, at that time, I just sat and I said, oh my God, this is so amazing. You know, just look at the way that, and the parents were just so feeling so blessed. Arey, aapko yaad hai, doctor, wo to bachta hi nahi tha. And, you know, that time I realized the importance of what I am doing. You know, and after that, okay, many several cases since, but till date we continue in the same way, you know, and for the same reason, because we just want to see that, I mean, you know, the parents happy and everybody happy and the child so lovely. So I guess that is that was the first time, but that was the time I realized how important it is to do this.
Yes. So we have a student, Sai. And yeah, Sai wants to ask a question. It's really a nice moment, madam. Like I could see how students are telling, like messaging me. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Sai, yes. Sai, can you try now?
Akka, I have a question that Akka, I have a question that with whom supporter you came at this height?
Support?
You came at this height as a doctor.
I think, yeah, my father's.
Hi Didi, I am Pavani.
Yes, Pavani, hi.
Didi, like I had heard if we all wanted to become a doctor, then we need to like do an operation of frog. Is it compulsory, Didi?
Yeah. Okay. So this is in your 11th and 12th standard science projects or the science practical. So they can give you a frog or they can give you a cockroach or they can give you a rat or whatever. but that is compulsory. You have to, whatever animal they give you. So that is just the beginning stages. So later on, you have to do the human dissection once you enter MBBS. So I think frog is much easier, to get used to.
And Didi, if we wanted to become a dentist also, we need to do the operation of the animal.
Yes, because that is the earlier stage. This is in the 12th standard that you have to do this. After you pass 12th standard, only then can you get into medicine or dentistry or whatever. So, I mean, that is for everybody to do.
I'm so scared of animals.
You can't get scared of animals. Later on, it's human beings. And I think the first year of medicine is about anatomy dissections, where you have dead bodies and you have to dissect on that, So that is the beginning. Yes, we'll have to get used to all those things.
And I think going forward, definitely we will have that courage. I think we will hold that courage.
Of course. Courage, I think you become so used to it. There is nothing to feel anything about it. Because I think it is more of, because your mind is trained towards taking knowledge out of it, learning. So I guess you forget about the other parts of it, that you're more interested in learning about the human body rather than focusing on, oh my God, there is a dead body, So I guess that is where things will start changing in your mind.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Pavni, for the question as well. We have Sudha Rani. Sudha Rani, would you like to ask your question? Yeah, Sudha Rani, you want to ask your question?
Bhaiya?
Yes, Santosh? No.
Sai Kumar Bhaiya.
Yeah, Sai Kumar. Okay. Yes, Sai Kumar. You have a question, Sai Kumar?
Yes, Bhaiya. Hi, ma'am. This is Sai Kumar.
Yeah. Hi, Sai Kumar.
Ma'am, you are now your profession is doing pediatric. No, ma'am.
Pediatrics.
If you are some conditions and any wrong situations and you didn't become pediatric, what you wants to become then?
Okay, if I wouldn't take up pediatrics, I would take up gynecology. So it's women and children. I mean, I guess that was what my interests were. But pediatrics was more closer to my heart. I always wanted to do pediatrics.
Okay, so we have Swati. She wants to ask you a question. Yes, Swati.
My name is Swati from ST Albert School. My question is, so when you were doing operations and babies, there was babies, and what in any operation or in any situation, do you feel like, no, this is going to be failed, this kid is going to be die, it will not happen? Do you feel like that?
I will tell you one thing, that every difficult baby, see, nobody knows the outcome when the baby is born and when it's a difficult situation, or, the resuscitation is difficult or the baby and all that. But I guess keeping a very, very positive outlook, no matter what, is very important. You cannot have that thought in your head that, okay, now this is gone. No, because you are the only thing, the only hope that can, push and make the baby survive. So I guess you should not losing hope and working till the end, whatever the outcome, is important. You cannot lose hope. So as a doctor, I think you can never think that, okay, there can be difficult situations, but you should always, I mean, you can never think that, okay, this baby is going to go. No, it cannot go, because you are there. You have to do it. And if still things don't work out, then that is sad. That is very, very sad and disheartening. But yeah, but that doesn't mean that you should still try till the end.
It's always, I think you should always have that. Yes,
Because yeah, you are the only person there to give hope. If you lose hope, then what is there left?
definitely. That's when I think doctor's profession is really so pure. I think because of that good quality. I think with that I want to ask you one question. Like, what are some qualities a doctor should have?
Yeah.
Maybe you can maybe help us know that.
Yes, of course. I think okay, first and foremost, hardworking, important. Okay, sincere, very sincere to their work. Okay, third is empathy, a lot of empathy and compassion for people, overall, wanting to work for the benefit of people rather than, for the money of it. The money is not something that you should even have it in your mind. So that is very important. So sincerity, empathy, hard work, compassion, honesty, all these things. These are very, very, very important. And the willingness to sacrifice everything else for this profession, for your work.
So thank you so much, madam, for telling those words.
Yeah.
I think definitely those are the qualities that one require. We have Hina here. She has a question. Hina. Or Rajeshwari. Rajeshwari, would you like to ask your question?
Yeah, bhaiya.
Yes, please.
Yes. Good evening, ma'am. I am Rajeshwari.
Yeah.
Actually, my question is, you will not become directly doctor, right? We should take nurse training.
No, nursing is not required to do before medicine. You can do medicine after your 12th standard exams by passing the entrance exams for medicine. Nursing is a separate thing. You can either do medicine or you can do nursing. Nursing is a separate course altogether.
So basically, after your 10th class, you have to write a doctor like MBBS entrance exam. Like once,
yes,
like
that
which
is after
is
12. You have
that
to pass your 12. Yeah, then the MBBS entrance exams. And then if you get a rank through that, you are directly into MBBS. There is no question of nursing there.
Sure. So anybody has any questions? So I wanted to open the floor. So maybe you can raise hand, then I will try to unmute yourself and ask, like make sure that like you ask question so that we don't like it like go in chaos. Okay, we have a student called Ritish. Okay, Ritish, would you like to ask your question?
Okay.
Ritish, can you ask your question?
Bhaiya,
Yeah, yes.
when doctor is treating to corona patients, doctor will not scared bhaiya. If corona will be to me.
Sorry, doctor is treating COVID patients.
Will doctors be scared?
Doctors will not.
Will a doctor be scared? No, not at all.
Okay, so yes, Ritish.
Family
No, that's what. No, that's when doctors are like courageous, right? That's a quality that also madam mentioned before, right, Ritish? So Ritish, like we will have the discussion later, but we have Sudharani. Sudharani, would you like to ask your question?
Yes, bhaiya. So, hi ma'am, I am Sudharani. So, for you, I want to ask a question. So, the question is, for become a doctor, there are different types of doctors. Like for people, animals, and etc.
Correct.
For those, should we study different types of course?
Yeah, if the veterinary doctors have a different course, means it's not MBBS. It's they have a different course altogether. So MBBS was only for humans, you know. So the animal doctors, you have to get into a different course, different year. 12th standard is compulsory. After 12th standard, you can give their entrance exams. Like medicine, MBBS is basically allopathy. Like that, there is Ayurveda, there is homeopathy, there is Unani medicine. So all these are different courses, okay? But like medicine, your allopathy, your homeopathy, and your Ayurveda, they are all for treating human beings. Veterinary courses are totally different. They're only for, you will learn only about animals.
Okay, thank you, madam. So we have Pooja. Pooja, can you ask your question?
Hi, Didi. My name is Pooja. And I wanted to ask you, like there will be many tests and you are going to give many people forward while studying medicine, right? So while you are doing it, how did you feel? And was it first time, like, or did you see your father also doing it, and were you used to it?
Doing medicine, you're talking about? Doing?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Any tests, like going through any tests.
Tests. Okay, the exams you mean? Are you asking about the exams?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So the exams, of course, I mean, you have to give them. I mean, so my father was already, obviously, he had given all his exams during his time. So he was there to guide me in a very big way, how to study and, all that. But then I think giving the exams it's inevitable. You have to do it. And studying for the exams is absolutely essential. I mean, it will take like anything like 8 to 10 hours of study every day. I think with time, you should have to be prepared for it.
Yes. We have Sneha.
And I know
sorry. Continue. We have Sneha. Sneha, would you like to ask your questions? Yes, Sneha, please ask your question.
Hi.
Sneha, your voice is, I think we're not able to hear your voice. In the meantime, you can text me. You can text me, Sneha.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes. Sneha, tell.
Hello, Bhaiya.
Yes. Tell.
Means ma'am told that we should have some quality for being a doctor is empathy. If you're having empathy, how can we treat? How can we do an operation to patients?
No,
you
don't
like
understand.
We'll feel, I can't do operation.
No, empathy does not mean that. Okay, empathy means caring towards, curing the patient. It does not mean you have to show empathy. You understand? If you don't care enough to treat the patients, it's not something like a robot's job. You understand? Having no emotions is different. Having no emotions when you're treating them, okay, but you care enough to make sure that they get cured. You have to understand the other person's pain, what they're going through. You have to get them out of that pain. You don't have to have emotions for that person. You have to have emotions. You have to have care enough to get them out of that pain, to work towards it.
Yes, I think that gave clarity. Thank you so much, Sneha, for the question. We have Sangeeta and then Anushka. So mostly I think we will have the last two questions. Sangeeta, yes.
Yes, Bhaiya, I want to ask Didi that
Many people are scared of becoming a doctor because of COVID-19 pandemics. I want Didi to tell why should we did not get scared of that, and we should focus on our career.
How you should not in pandemic? Is that the question?
How you should not let pandemic affect your career options, especially
Career
like
options.
doctor.
See, if you are career options in the sense right now at this moment, if you are studying to become a doctor, you are not getting exposed outside at all. You're in your house and you're doing your thing. Okay. If you are working in a hospital as a doctor or as a nurse or as a paramedic in any way, you're getting exposed outside. Then of course there are precautions to be taken. You have to have all the hygiene kits. You have to have the hand washing, sanitizing, all those things. You have to make sure that neither you get it nor you give it, you know. So that care has to be taken. But if you are just in your house and you're not getting exposed anywhere, then I think there's nothing to be get scared of the pandemic at all, you know, because you're avoiding exposure in the first place. The risk comes when you get out of the house.
Shwati, 1 minute. Like we have Anushka here. Anushka, can you ask your question?
Yeah, Didi, so my question is like when we do surgeries, we have a fear in the inside, like if we make any mistake, then we will be blamed. Or maybe if something happened to the patient because of us. So how should we reduce that
So
fear
this
from
fear,
inside us?
yes. See, when you are doing your residency in surgery, when you go and join as a resident doctor, you are not a surgeon then. You are learning to be a surgeon. Okay, and that is a time when all these fears will go, because every day then nobody will give you a surgery first. You will first assist a surgery. So when you're assisting, you're learning. They will just tell you how to hold the instruments, how to stand, how to wash up, all those things. That process will also take 6 months to 1 year when you're only assisting. Then you will get some chance of cutting or suturing. Then you will, so all this is a process. By the end of your 4 years of residency and residency program and everything, you will be so accustomed to the whole thing. Forget fear. Your mind will be thinking about how you can perform it and how best you can work. So all those fears and everything will be just out.
Yes, I think we have Hina here. Hina, would you like to ask a question?
Hi, Didi, I'm Hina.
Hi.
Didi, if you want to become physiology doctor, what
want to
we
become?
should do? Physiology doctor.
Physiology.
Yeah.
Is it psychology that you want to tell, Hina?
No, physiology.
Okay.
Physiology. Sorry, I didn't get physiology.
You meant to say physician or something, Hina?
Did you say physician? Okay. So physician is basically, again, after you finish your MBBS, you can practice as a general physician. Okay, where you can treat, you can open a clinic and do basic, treatments to, young, old, everybody. But if you want to particularly work only towards adult care, then you have to do MD in medicine, or if you want to do work towards kids, then you can do MD in pediatrics, or that's how it gets differentiated.
No.
So a general physician is somebody who starts practice immediately after MBBS, does not do post-graduation courses.
Okay, Didi, but after then which course we have to choose to become?
You have to choose science. You have to choose science stream.
Science stream.
Yes. After
and 10th. Government will provide a scholarship.
That is a very difficult thing to say at this point of time, because as far as I know, at least in Mumbai, we haven't heard of any scholarships. so easily being given.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's just 3 minutes to like the question. I think one last question that I want to ask: what is the secret of your success?
Okay, one thing is never giving up and hard work, and yeah, that is. And I think moreover it is being a kids doctor, you know, I feel that I really enjoy treating kids and being able to cure them, and
Didi? Didi?
Yeah, yes, tell me.
Didi, as we have to become something, achieving some in life or something, we should have first talent and skills to achieve that, right? And confidence first of all. Some of the people afraid to choose their state, right?
Okay.
Some of people afraid from choosing their level to success in their life. How you choose, you achieve it. You actually did it. You goes afraid from to means I want to say.
Hindi mein you can talk in Hindi ही ना.
दीदी आप अपने डर को अंदर से निकाले, मतलब दूसरे जने रहते थे आपकी प्लेस पे, अपने डर को दिल में रखते थे, आप अपन के डर को निकाल के जीत हासिल करें.
हाँ, तो वही तो करना है उसको, तो डेडिकेशन, यू हैव टू हैव डेडिकेशन कि कुछ भी हुआ मुझे करना है, इस बार नहीं मिला तो अगले बार मिलेगा, लेकिन नेवर गिव अप.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for those inspiring words. I think mostly we are done with the questions because it's also time.
Yes.
Thank you so much, guys, for
Sure.
all of you who were here, part of the session, who really gave your who really had the discussion and had your takeaways. So if anybody wants to, I wanted to invite one student who wants to share what did they learn from the space. So maybe if anybody wants to share, it would be great. Is there anyone? Only one student? Okay, I could see Pooja raising hand. Yes, Pooja. Pooja, can you hear me? Okay.
Wait, can I ask?
No, that we are short of questions. But Swati, if you have any question, you can message me. I'll try to personally text her and I'll get back to you. Swati, is that fine? Yeah. Pooja, would you like to give you a vote of thanks? Yeah.
Yes, Bhaiya. We learned many inspiration words by Prajakta Didi. We had a wonderful time with you, and we had
so much. Me too. Me too.
We had many clarified questions, and all our doubts are cleared. Now we are supposed to have a dedication towards doctor, and we will make sure that at least from this joining 51, and now it's 41, and from this 41 people, at least 10 members may become doctors and have a successful life.
Yes, I hope so.